Oops. Oops.
try and speak loudly. So the first question I was going to start with is Quickie, whilst we take a little bit of a cruise. Quickie said, what's with the name and is it my real one? Well, Buster Bootlace is kind of a funny name, but it's something my dad used to call me when I was a kid. He used to call me Buster Bootlace. My real name's Brett, and so I don't know why he did that, but I think my dad used to have a shop, like a car accessory shop. There was this war veteran that used to come in, and he used to always call me Buster. Hey, what are you doing, Buster? Leave that alone, Buster, like, joking around. And the bootlace part, I don't know where that came from, just because it's probably a BB, maybe, I don't know. But so anyway, ever since this old war veteran called me Buster, my dad always called me Buster Bootlace. He always had nicknames for everyone, and so it kind of stuck. And so when I started the channel, I thought, oh well, I'll just use the name my dad used to call me as a kid. So that's where that came from. Bunter, good name, good reference to Initial D. So Bunter says, did I get any inspirations when I started the channel? Well, the YouTube thing kind of started. I was being made redundant, and I had a really, really quiet time at work, and so I started watching a little bit of YouTube. And I think, what was the first stuff I started watching? I can't remember when GTA 5 was first being released, and I came across probably Fail Race. I started watching Fail Race videos on SLRR, funnily enough. And what else did I watch? Other bits. I also watched YBR, and then, because I kind of have a thing for survival games, so I started watching a bit of Splattercat as well. I was watching some Splattercat, and what else? Like, oh yeah, a bit of Jacksepticeye as well. Like, I used to find them quite entertaining, and so I think my inspirations for starting the channel, it was sort of something I wanted to do to incorporate music, cars, because I used to do a bit of DJing, but I've kind of stopped a bit now. I've been turning down DJ jobs because I've been focusing on my channel every time I get spare time. So yeah, so I wanted to mix cars, gaming and music. And the idea I had was, I thought I wanted to incorporate all of the channels I used to watch, like, Jacksepticeye, which is probably where I get the face cam from. But then I like to do some survival stuff, although I'm not really doing it at the moment. And car stuff like Fail Race and YBR. So I suppose I thought about collaborating all of these styles into one channel, just to see what happens. Face cam. I wouldn't really call it comedy, but I'm just sort of quite laid back and relaxed, and I don't mind making a fool of myself, and I just have a laugh and joke at my own expense, really, and just to have fun. So I like to try and incorporate all of that. I suppose you could say they're kind of the inspirations, I suppose. J Froze, right? Yes. When should I say, did I get into JDM cars, and how? I don't know. I think my first. Well, let's answer a couple of. So when did I get into JDM cars? Well, I don't know. I think when I was 17, I had a couple of cars by that point. But when I was 17, I had a Vauxhall Corsa. If I find a picture, I'll put it up. But I got a brand new Vauxhall Corsa when I got my first job, and I got a loan out to buy this car. It was 2002. So what I did was, the first thing I did was I phoned around, right, and I phoned up this car garage, and I said, look, what exhaust do you have for a Vauxhall Corsa 2002? Well, for everywhere else in the world, it's probably an Opel Corsa. So it was the Mark III, the Corsa C, basically. And it's like, so what exhaust do you have? And he was like, oh, we have a Jap style exhaust. And I was like, oh, it's like a slash cut exhaust. So I was like, oh, I'll have that then. And so it was this big can. And I put a straight through exhaust system, right? So this thing was super loud, and it was only 1.2. So that was sort of, I suppose, because the exhaust was a Japanese, like a Jap style exhaust. So that's one thing. And also, where I grew up in England, there was a garage, a Japanese import, like car garage, called Magnum Motorsports, and I used to always go there and drool over all of the cars. And of course, these people are slow, so let's just overtake these people. So I used to go there like every time, like after school, and just have a look at all these cars. And it's a shame, because they're not selling the same kind of cars anymore. They've kind of gone into more sort of, your commercial, basic kind of cars, like your normal kind of hatchbacks and stuff. They've stopped importing Japanese cars now. Maybe they just weren't making the money, I don't know. But, so growing up, I used to love going in there and looking at all the JDM cars, all the imports, like the R32 Skylines. I used to love the DC5. There's a DC5 Integra, the special edition with the red interior and the white wheels, and the R34 Skylines, the Silvias, even the Starlet Glanza Vs. I used to go in and just drool over all those things. I don't know what it is. I can't explain what it is I love about Japanese cars. It's just, I love all cars, but with the JDM cars, I love the fact that the Japanese can get so much power out of little engines, and when you, with engineering, get a lot of power out of little engines, you end up being light, so you've got a good power to weight ratio, and you know, they handle well around the bends. I just can't really explain. And I think what I love about JDM cars is that a lot of European cars have numbers. A lot of European cars have numbers in the titles, in the names of the models. But what I love about the Japanese cars is you almost never see the numbers, just like a letter and a number. It's often a name, like Sylvia, which I think comes from a Greek goddess, Sylvia, I think, in Greek mythology. And then Skyline, like the Starion, which was supposed to be Stallion, but the Japanese got the spelling wrong. But it's just stuff like that. I don't know, I just really like the, especially that golden age of late 90s, early 2000s sort of Japanese cars. I don't know why, it's just some reasons why perhaps I've kind of fallen for them, maybe, I don't know. Would I prefer to get locked out of my car or my house? Well, I'd rather get locked out of my house, because then I can get the car to drive to get the spare key, or to drive over to see the fire brigade who can let me in. There you go. Our friend Lou B has asked, what was my first car? So, if I can find a picture, there might be a really embarrassing photo I can find, and perhaps I'll put that up, I don't know. But my first car was a 1978 Mini, like an 850, and I don't mean none of this BMW nonsense. This was an original Mini, right? And it was an 850, and it wasn't even a 1 litre. It was tiny, but it was good fun. And so I got that when I was that was my first car. I didn't have it too long, but what I did do was I took out the back seats and I put in a massive 15-inch subwoofer, a big 15-inch subwoofer instead of the back seats. It was brilliant. That was so much fun, that thing. The whole car would shake to bits. It was hilarious. Ah, man, I love that. My dream car, though, the dream car's a difficult one, because I don't know, I've always said if I was to win the lottery, I don't think I would buy all these typical Lambos and Ferraris. I just don't know. I mean, who knows what I'd be like if I won the lottery, but if I did, I think I'd end up getting some old classics and sort of doing them up. I just don't think I would buy a Lamborghini. I just don't think I would. I mean, I've always wanted another Nissan Silvia S15 and rebuild it and try and get 400 to 500 brake horsepower, and that's what I'm doing. I'm in the process of that. So if I had to say something other than that, I don't know. There's so many cars that I love, but the one that I really love and I had tried to get hold of before, but they're very expensive, was the old Corolla. You know, the AE86. I love that car. So I think if I could, you know, that's probably. Or of course, I suppose the absolute dream car, which is still 40 to 50 grand, would be a proper, nicely tuned R34 GTR. It won't be rear wheel drive, so you know the fun aspect will totally be different. But I think that's probably I'd probably say that would be my dream car. I think. How did I end up living in Gibraltar? Well, I grew up in Gibraltar until I was about 8 years old, and then when my parents split, my dad stayed in Gib and my mum went to the UK, so that's where I went with my mum and my sister. And then in 2010 I found a job in Gibraltar and I came back, and I literally had to start from the ground up again. I took a massive pay drop, wasn't earning very much money at all, and it was the first time I moved out and lived on my own as well. So it's been 8 years now I've been back in Gibraltar, and things are finally getting a little easier, and especially since my girlfriend and I moved in together. So, which is why now I finally decided to go and get myself, you know, another car, like a Silvia S15, because it might be the last chance I ever get to do it. So that's basically that. Idle would probably be I'm going to be honest here. Growing up, I loved Bret the Hitman Hart. I don't know why. I used to watch almost all of his matches, and I met him. I met Bret the Hitman Hart in 2007, I think it was, and I'll find the photo if I can. But yeah, wow. And they say never meet your idols because you get let down, and bloody hell, this guy was really nice, really friendly. I'll never forget that moment where I queued up and I thought, oh, it's a Sunday, right? It's his last day here, and he's probably fed up. Everyone's wanting pictures taken with him. He's probably fed up. And I got there, and he looked at me square in the eye, and he went, "Hi, how are you?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm good, thanks." And you? And he said, "Yeah, really good." And so I shook his hand, and then that photo I'm going to try and put up where I met him. Wow, he was a really cool guy. And then I met him a second time, just shortly afterwards, well, the same day, where he signed my book, and I put the picture up. Like I said, my real name's Bret, and this is what he put. He was like, I got into the queue for him to sign my book, and he was like, "So, who do I make this out to?" And I said, "Bret," and he looked at me weird, and I went, "Sorry, no, mine is Bret as well." And then he was like, "Okay, how many T's?" And I said, 2. And he said, "Oh, that's a lot of extra work in the signing business." And then I shook his hand again, and I was like, "Oh wow, twice in one day." And he shook my girlfriend's hand, who was with me at the time as well. Yeah, so yeah, I'd probably still say that. Initial D or Wang Gang Midnight. Initial D. I'm going to say that, and I'm going to stick with it. Favourite film? What is my favourite 3 year? Okay, I think if I had to say my favourite film, a film I always go back to and I rewatch and rewatch and rewatch, it's probably Kickboxer with Jean-Claude Van Damme. I think it's got to be. I love that era of movies, that sort of late 80s, 90s action martial arts movies. Yeah, those movies. Yeah, I think it's probably have to be Kickboxer. I can always go back and watch it, and Bloodsport. I can always go back and watch those two over and over and over and over. Favourite song? Yeah, I kind of have a bit of an unusual taste in music. I like more underground stuff, and like at the gym. At the gym, I listen to a lot of like really kind of fast music, like it's called UK hardcore. it sounds weird, but there's like a genre of UK kind of techno-y, trancey music that I still listen to sometimes at the gym. And one of my favourite songs, probably, and it still probably is "Field of Dreams." I'm going to play the intro to it here. Get your torches out, no, get your lighters out, as they say. So I still listen to that at the gym. But one of my favourite songs of all time would probably be Veracocha, Carte Blanche. I'll play the intro here. I'm just imagining in editing I'm playing that. So I've always loved Ferry Corkston and his trance sounds. I like all music, but I probably listen to sort of trance and stuff like that a bit more, a bit of drum and bass, I suppose. But yeah, a bit of hip hop here and there, but yeah. Oh, okay. Yep, you can have whichever lane you want, my dear.
Perfect.
Goodness sake. People, stick in your lane. Do I have any pets? Yes, I do. But it's like an adopted cat. My girlfriend has a cat, and when we moved in together, I suppose, yeah, I adopted the cat. So it's like, and the cat hated me.
Now we're in the jungle, and the most vicious of all the cats is El Gato del Diablo. As we see now, do you see the pride of the lion pack? She has now cottoned on to us viewing her through the lens of this camera. We can see that she knows we are here, and she will defend her territory. As we look at the cat in her territory, she does not look happy. She does not look happy, do you?
Hated me when I first moved in, and now I think my girlfriend is getting a little jealous because I think the cat prefers me. Where would I want to go? So this is all from Louis B, by the way. This might be predictable, but I've always wanted to go to Japan. I've always wanted to go. I love the mythology, I love the cars, I love the kind of the respect that people have. It's just a different world, and the architecture, the country. I just find it a really intriguing and interesting place. Coming from a European, well, depending on what happens with Britain, we in Gibraltar, we may not be Europeans anymore. So, one last one from Luby is, what's my favourite drink or food or alcohol? Well, I don't really drink any spirits or anything like that. But the only sort of alcohol I do drink is, I do like the occasional beer. That's probably my weak spot. I just, every now and again, I just love having just chilling out, you know, and having a beer. So beer wise, I like beers and lagers. So the beer I like the most, and I tend to drink the most, is Coors Light. And there's probably some connection there between Coors Light and Jean-Claude Van Damme we were talking about earlier.
Of a Coors Light.
Oh, that advert was ridiculous. Anyway, so I like Coors Light. Occasionally I like a bit of lemonade in it. Maybe if I'm feeling pretty extravagant, I might put a little bit of lemonade or a lemon in there. But I also like the old sort of British. I also like the old British pale ales and like the Indian pale ales. And there's a banana one which I like, which is really nice. I like the banana one. Good. Okay. Thank you. Right now, okay. Now, one last question. American Boot, my man, yes, our friend American Boot. So he's asked, am I going to do some live streams? Yes, I keep saying I'm going to do live streams, but something gets in the way. I'm trying to figure it out. I think there's a way that I can use my DSLR camera as a webcam, because I don't have one. And the GoPro you can't use as a webcam. So I'm figuring it out, and I will do, and he mentions PS2 games. So we will do that, and I really want to do maybe one when my girlfriend's on nights. Perhaps that's probably an ideal time to do it. And I'll try to let you know when we do a live stream, do maybe some old PS2 games. So I think El Gato has quite a good built-in feature for that. So we'll look into that, and I'll definitely try and do that, hopefully soon. The next time my girlfriend's on nights, we'll try and do a live stream. I think that'd be fun. If we can try and synchronise the time zones. And what else did you say? I knew this would happen. My GoPro battery just went dead, so I've just pulled over somewhere and managed to get sort of a little bit of charge in my GoPro. But the last question, which was from American Boot, he said, the last thing he said was, do you have any advice for first-time content creators? And I don't really feel qualified enough to sort of give advice, but yeah, really willing to do it if anyone wants to listen, but because my channel's still quite small. But all I can say is just do what you love doing, because if you're forcing yourself to do something else, it's going to show through in the videos and the content that you make. And work hard, never give up, and people will realise that you're working hard on your videos, and just keep going and don't give up. Get yourself some cheap bits from probably Amazon or something just to film your videos. You can start out with some quite cheap bits and just start putting bits together. And I do recommend editing, because your style of editing will separate you from the crowd, and I think editing just will make your videos hopefully retain the audience. And I'm still learning. I think there's still things I need to do differently, so that's just my small bit there. Just do what you love doing and work hard, and try and upload at least perhaps once a week. You know, and one day, if my channel ever got big enough, I would do it full time. I definitely would. But of course, with work and other commitments, it's kind of more difficult to do more than one a week. But I think that's the last question. Thank you so much, guys, for putting questions in this video. And I'm looking to maybe do something at 2K. If we get to 2K, I mean, I never thought I'd get to 100. So if I get to 2K, I might do like a Steam key giveaway, or like an Xbox Live or PlayStation Store, code giveaway for like $20 or something. I don't know, and perhaps do something else then. But yeah, thank you so much for your questions. It's been really fun answering them, and thank you so much for supporting the channel. We are growing still. It's taking time, but it's just fun at the end of the day. And if people love, it's just sort of bringing people together that are interested in these sorts of games and these things. It's fun to just put all these things together, and it's been really cool to meet people through YouTube all over the world. So yeah, with all that said, thank you very much for watching. Whoever you are, wherever you are, have an awesome day. And I'll see you in the next one.